Good evening, everybody. I am Danielle, and I am filling in to lead for the loving kindness meditation this evening. I've never done this before. I've done loving kindness meditation, but I haven't led one at this temple. And yeah, looking forward to it. I got some tips, and I've taken some notes, studied a little bit. So hopefully we can all benefit from this. And I think it'll be good. So, let's see. I kind of wanted to go around the room first and have everyone introduce themselves and like share an aspiration or something they're grateful for, and what what brings you here tonight. And if you don't want to, you can pass. Or, not necessary, but I love to hear from all of you.
Hi, I'm Amy. This is my first loving kindness Dharma session. Thank you for being here. I'm grateful that you're here presenting and I'd like to start it.
Great, thank you.
Hi, I'm Jen. I'm grateful for God and what brings me here. I just found that this class has made a huge impact in my life, just giving people compassion each day and forgiveness towards family members.
Great, thank you. Sure, yeah.
I'm Bobby. I've just started coming to Dharma Zone in the past 2 weeks. For morning meditations and groups. Yeah, I've always been wanting to come to a metta loving kindness class, and I'm grateful for the growth on my journey, and my aspiration is to just open my heart more and just really tap into compassion for myself and thereby other people.
Gabe, just grateful to be here. What was the last part of it?
If you want to share an aspiration or what brought you here.
I want to be a professional artist. That's the aspiration.
All right, good.
I'm Preston. I live about 5 miles away, so I got introduced by a couple of friends that come here often.
Thank you.
Hi, Don Markey. I'm grateful for my home, my health, my happiness, and I've made this an every Wednesday event. So I'd like to pass the love and kindness out to the world.
I'm Michael. Been here a couple times. I'm really grateful for the book that I got from the library last week and the week before. It's been fantastic, and it really helped open up some new perspectives. So it's actually exactly what I needed from the questions that I had last time that I was here. So yeah, I'd like to cultivate a benevolent heart and just continue to be here.
Do you care to share what book that is?
I think it's called Living Zen. I forget the name, but it was fantastic. Yeah.
Great, thanks.
I'm Joey. Grateful to be here. I moved here a few months ago from Mississippi. I was in a pretty bad living situation there. I'm just grateful to be here.
Welcome.
I'm Travis. I'm grateful someone else was able to sub tonight.
Okay. Did you want to share something you're grateful for, or an aspiration for the evening? We were just going around as you just walked in. Yes, you, sir, yes.
I like being put on the spot.
Thanks, me too, that's what I'm here.
I'm a teacher, I can deliver. Seriously, I'm thankful for a lot. Every day, I wake up with a smile on my face.
Great, thank you. Okay. Okay, so I was given some tips, and, first I wanted to talk about, loving kindness is part of a set of another list that the Buddha loves lists. And I heard this, and this was, made sense to me. The reason why there are so many lists in Buddhism is because it was an oral tradition. For many, many thousands of years, they were passing it down just, orally and speaking. And so the list would help people actually commit it to memory. So now that we see it on paper and we see all these lists, it seems overwhelming because we can look at it anytime we want, but when you have to commit it to memory, that makes sense. So this is only a list of 4. It's the Brahma Viharas, which they refer to as the divine abodes, the 4 immeasurables. These are kind of the qualities of the heart that you need, to reach enlightenment per se. And, instead of, mindsets that can pull us in the direction of fear or anger, sadness, worry, these are kind of the opposite. And they are loving kindness, and the Pali word for that is metta, compassion, karuna, which is the Pali word, sympathetic or empathetic joy, which is mudita, and equanimity, and the Pali word is upekkha. Now tonight is the loving kindness meditation, but all of these are kind of the 4 acts, like the 4 directions of a compass. They all kind of come together, and they're not, mutually exclusive. We can, go from one to the other. My experience is too, is that I can get very heady about this stuff. But what I learned from doing the loving kindness meditation with people who have led several is that it's this felt sense that I can bring up in myself and really feel the spaciousness, the openness, and bring up this sense of like goodwill and caring. So it's not just, sometimes it does seem kind of mechanical, which is okay too. Like if that's the feeling or if that's what's happening, like I try to allow that as well. I'm not gonna, force myself to feel certain things, but usually I can conjure up this feeling of, overall goodwill, which is the kind of the overall goodwill, care, kindness, friendliness, the base of what loving kindness is. So for the 4 Brahma Viharas, metta is given first, which they say is kind of the foundation. It's like we have to start with metta in order to move on to the others. Like, and metta is, what I understand is an overall feeling, that this feeling toward, it's less of a direct feeling of love and this overall like generosity of spirit and spaciousness. And when I feel spacious and open and, accepting, I have more clarity. And when I have more clarity, I make better decisions. And when I make better decisions, I get better results. And so it all kind of starts though without, taking away like those things that harden my heart, the protective barriers, which I have grown to have. And I know all of us, with the fear, these feelings are shared. And I think that's what we get into with compassion, is that anger and fear and sadness is something we all experience. And I listen to the 10% Happier podcast, which is great. He's awesome. And he said that he heard from a Buddhist teacher that to say this is my fear, my sadness, my anger is a misappropriation of public property. That these are things that we all share, and there's just fear and anger and sadness. It's not mine. I don't own it. We all experience this. So if I can experience it and then have compassion toward myself, I think that's why loving kindness meditation often starts with ourselves, and which can be difficult. But I need to learn to offer myself compassion, loving kindness, and all of these things if I'm going to attempt to offer it to you. Because if I can't heal these feelings in myself, it's going to be really hard for me to sort of spontaneously go out and have compassionate action and try to help you. And this has been a stumbling block for me. I haven't, like for my own self, was like, get over it and move on. But then I wanted to be helpful to others. Well, I can't. If I'm acting that way toward myself, I'm inherently just going to tell you to get over it and to move on, and that never feels good. I grew up in a competitive family, I mean, we were nice to each other, but not all the time, but compassionate, caring, kind words, expressing love, kind of valuing these types of feelings, that didn't happen in my family of origin. So as I get older, it feels better to feel that way, but I didn't know that. I felt it because it was familiar to be protective and kind of feel competitive toward people and not open up. I didn't understand the value of it until I started to practice this, and I said, oh, this feels better. It feels better to exist in the world this way than it does to, do what I previously did, which ultimately didn't work. And I came to a path where I wanted to do something different. So, and then sympathetic joy, which is basically delighting in the happiness of others, and being truly happy for someone else. And I heard someone say it's kind of like borrowing joy. If I have my joy and then I borrow your joy, then that's more joy put together. So if I have sympathetic joy, like say I lost my job, but my sister had a baby, so I can go over and borrow that joy, and then I can feel that even though in my own life I'm, not feeling great about it. So the accumulation, and just feeling genuinely happy for someone else, or even in realistic circumstances for myself, if someone's first say got the promotion that I wanted and I didn't get, I'm not necessarily gonna feel joy that person received, but I can at least maybe be neutral, be careful of my mudita and make sure I'm not, I can at least be, okay, that's okay, I didn't get this one. Great, good for you. I'm not gonna throw you a party and be crazy about it, but I can at least be neutral. And then equanimity is this last one that sort of encompasses all of them and seems kind of like the most divine of all the abodes, right? To have the capacity of mind to find balance and be okay with experiences as they happen, in real time. That's a tall order. But all of these, and that's the beauty of this, is that they can all be cultivated. We all already have them in one form or another. And there's different practices you can do to cultivate these states. And loving kindness meditation is a way to do that, or metta practice, or whatever it's referred to. And, it just feels good for me to intentionally start to cultivate these types of feelings toward others, a genuine caring and all of that, because I didn't learn that growing up. I didn't, and I, not to say that my parents did everything wrong and I'm just, oh my gosh, I just can't believe I was raised the way I was raised, but it just wasn't happening in my household. And as an adult, it's my responsibility to live as an adult and do my own life and set my own priorities and just existing in the world in a state of fear and anger and sadness. It's a really hard way to exist. And so the practicing this and developing these qualities is easier. It's easier. And I feel better, and I hope others feel better around me, because I know they haven't always, I was, like I said, I didn't come to a spiritual path because everything was going great and that I was just rolling along in life and everything was going my way. I came because I was struggling, and I stayed because I want to keep growing in a direction that I'm proud of and that I feel better about, and that includes other people. And I'm human. I'm at home before this talking to my partner, and I'm just freaking out because I'm coming here and I did not have a lot of loving kindness, but I can at least say, okay, well, these are areas that need more loving kindness. And I do experience that in my loving kindness meditation. Sometimes it's kind of like, I can't feel this toward this person or this situation, so this is where I need to pay more attention. and see what's going on there. And so, anyway, we will meditate. And, our loving kindness meditation's an art, meaning that the person I'm going to start with self. That may not always be where you want to start in your personal loving kindness meditation. I'm going to offer 4 phrases that speak to me and hopefully speak to people in general. But that's also the art of it, like what speaks to you and what works for you. That can all be sort of explored as you learn more about what your loving kindness practice is for you. And so I will. Okay. I'm gonna ring the bell. Allow your eyes to close gently. Take a few slow, deliberate breaths and come into a simple, kind presence and awareness of the breath and body for a few moments. Start to feel settled in your seat, whether that means feeling the pressure that your legs meet the chair or floor, or however you get settled. Let's start by sending loving kindness toward ourselves. I like to put my hand on my heart as a sign that I'm sending loving kindness toward myself. Now, if this is difficult, maybe imagine a spiritual teacher, a benefactor, a loved one sending loving kindness towards you. I'm going to recite 4 phrases, and please recite these inwardly as you imagine sending the loving, concentrating on actually cultivating the feeling toward yourself or toward someone sending this to you. So we'll start with, may I be happy. May I be at peace. May I feel safe and protected. May I live with ease. May I be happy. May I be at peace. May I feel safe and protected. May I live with ease. Now recite these phrases inwardly for the next few minutes. May I be happy. May I be at peace. May I feel safe and protected. May I live with ease. If it's hard to feel loving kindness towards yourself, or if you're resisting, then just allow that as well to be there. Again, if another phrase works for you, please include that as well. Okay, let's move toward what most easily opens your heart, the easiest way to invite the spirit of care and love. Let yourself think of someone that you love a lot that's uncomplicated. A loving relationship with a child, maybe a pet, a teacher, a benefactor. Anyone that it's easy to send loving kindness toward. You can kind of bring up that sense of goodwill and caring easily when this image of the person or pet or benefactor comes to your mind. With this image in your mind, we'll recite the phrases. May you be happy. May you be at peace. May you feel safe and protected. May you live with ease. Just really trying to sense this feeling of sending, caring, and a genuine love out to this person or being. May you be happy. May you be at peace. May you be safe and protected. May you live with ease. May you be happy. May you be at peace. May you feel safe and protected. May you live with ease. Again, if this feels mechanical or it's hard to access feelings of loving kindness, then allow that to be there as well. It's okay. Okay. So next we'll move to somebody, a neutral person in your life. What always comes to my mind is a worker at the grocery store that I see often. It could be someone you see walking your dog that you don't know their backstory necessarily. Or any sort of person that you pass in your day and not really well acquainted with, but someone you probably see often, maybe once a day, maybe once a week, whatever works for you, of course. It's the art of all of this. So you bring the image of that person into your mind. We'll do the phrases again. May you be happy. May you be at peace. May you feel safe and protected. May you live with ease. May you be happy. May you be at peace. May you feel safe and protected. May you live with ease. May you be happy. May you be at peace. May you feel safe and protected. May you live with ease. Okay, now we'll move on to somebody in your life who is a difficult person. Somebody that may produce conflicted feelings within you. Feelings that someone you may perhaps have difficulty expressing goodwill or caring toward. But the goal is to widen the circle to include individuals like this as well, because the goal is to, generate this general sense of goodwill toward all. And this includes the difficult people in our lives. What comes to my mind is my brother. And yeah, I love him very much, but he's hard for me to include. So I will attempt to do that. And you can think of your own person, or maybe it's a public figure. Maybe someone from your past. We'll repeat the phrases to include this person as well. May you be happy. May you be at peace. May you feel safe and protected. May you live with ease. May you be happy. May you be at peace. May you feel safe and protected. May you live with ease. May you be happy. May you be at peace. May you feel safe and protected. May you live with ease. So for the last several minutes, we're going to widen the circle to include all beings in all directions. This is sort of where I rest in this sense of overall loving kindness, well-wishing, goodwill that I've cultivated throughout the practice. And I could sit with this spaciousness and ease and emanate it out to all beings in all directions. And repeat the phrases. May all beings be happy. May they be at peace. May they feel safe and protected. May they live with ease. May all beings be happy. May they be at peace. May they feel safe and protected. May they live with ease. Just maintaining an awareness of breath and body. resting in awareness and loving kindness. So as we bring this meditation to a close, perhaps reflect on the caring and loving kindness you're able to cultivate throughout the meditation, or perhaps any resistance or other feelings that came up, and your overall experience. Meant to practice. We'll end with that. Okay. So does anybody want to share what their experience was? How that was for them?
I'll share. So I think as I got further out in the circle, I started to reflect on what changes I need to make action kind of line up with, or thought line up with action. Just in terms of like thinking about people that you may not get along with, and there's the token, oh, I wish they had this, and then there's a little bit of like, but I really don't like that. So, yeah, just thinking about how I interact, like that's really my intention, like, you know, how does that shift and change kind of thing.
Yeah, I always try to look at my intention when I deal with difficult people, and am I looking for a certain outcome? Am I seeking a certain something for myself? Or am I genuinely trying to, be open to including them in this kind, compassionate way? That's difficult. But I definitely relate to what you said, because yeah, it's hard to follow that up with action, so.
Well, it's just, I guess, changing ways of behavior, right? And having clear intentions, I think, before interaction, or like you said, like stopping and pausing and looking at your intentions.
Yeah.
But it's easy in the beginning to arrive with good intentions, is when you get some triggers or something, all of a sudden it just the path becomes a little narrower to walk.
Yes, definitely. Anybody else want to share?
I tend to look at them from an individual perspective and not a personality, and focus on the feeling, projection.
That's the trick, right? I want to go right to, figuring it out, not conjuring up the feeling. Does anybody have questions or care to share? I would love to hear.
Share and kind of question, but what I'll share is that for the difficult person, it was a family member that I have no relationship with. That it's like a no/difficult relationship, And I was just trying to focus. I mean, distractibility was there, but I was just trying to kind of keep in mind that, whatever these unpleasant experiences are, were stemmed from like hurt in the other person, like hurt people, and it's also usually not a one-sided thing, and it's hard keeping that person in mind, but I really just tried to to echo what this gentleman said, kind of look at it as an individual, and that also something you said earlier about suffering or something not being personal. I don't know what you said, but I was around us sometimes, and he says it's not like your suffering or my suffering; it's the suffering. Fear is just there. So that's kind of my experience. But it was a little difficult staying on track, and the path became narrow, as he said, at times. One question I had is, we talked about the heart in society, like there's a anatomical organ, obviously, that pumps blood, and then it gets a little, sometimes in conversations or my understanding, like in certain traditions, they talk about a chakra around this area. I guess in Buddhist principles, from what you know, if you do, what is the heart? What are they talking about? Because I know, like, when I have experiences that are expansive and open and loving, there's something here that feels like it's opens up. But I know there's a lot of nerve endings here, and things are also perceived here. But just wondering what Buddhism might say on it.
The short answer is I don't know, but I would say that I know that these are qualities of the heart that are developed, and they're being the divine abodes, the teachings of the Buddha requires that you have these qualities of the heart. But one of my go-to most favorite quotes ever is, "What you frequently think and ponder becomes the inclination of your mind." And I think that probably the same goes for the heart, for me, So I love that. And, the modern way of saying that is neurons that fire together, wire together, So I just love that the Buddha was saying these things thousands of years ago, and we're finding scientific evidence like now that that's true. So that's one of the cool things too about meditation that I love, is it changes your brain. It really does. It changes your brain. And there's a lot of science now to back up that this is, not that I need the science. I do, I in a way, but in a way I don't. But I just think it's fascinating. So. Okay. Anybody else? Yeah.
Thank you for that meditation. It was really peaceful. I was watching a YouTube video a couple weeks ago, and the man said everyone is a trauma survivor. And so it made me a lot more peaceful and loving with people I interact with, because I'm like, okay, I have no idea what she's been through or what he's been through, and it's seem to be a lot more loving, so.
Yeah, definitely. I guess when I was looking at the brown viharas and kind of trying to understand, what they mean in my life, I think the one that I think needs more attention in my life is compassion. Because I like to sit here and send out loving kindness and metta, but it's hard for me to go out there and get into it and get involved and really have compassionate action. That's something that I don't do often. I like to sit in meditation and send love and feel at peace, but getting out there and actually, in the mud and helping people is something that I want to do more. And I think I have dealt with a lot of my own pain and a lot of my own stuff. I was completely blocked out for a while because I couldn't deal with my own stuff. But I think I'm moving into an area where I have a true compassion to give because I can give it to myself, and I do understand traumatic events and I've been through them, but I couldn't help you with that until I at least admitted that I had gone through some things myself, even the admitting, right? Denial, it's a thick theme in my life, and luckily I've had enough desire to pursue these practices and to get beyond some of that, and there's a huge freedom in that, but it's a constant, cultivation. But the idea that I can practice and cultivate, that's the thing. I always think about that when I practice in meditation too. It's just, we have to keep at it, keep going, keep practicing daily. And, and the loving kindness, highly, and I think the other thing that I was reading is that it's not a passive, the Brahma Viharas are not passive mind states. They're all very fierce and active to get out there and be loving and overcome the stigma of being loving and kind in some situations, which I think there is. It takes a amount of courage. And I was thinking, as I was coming here today, I'm like, I don't think being up here is like a reflection of my knowledge. I think it's a reflection of like this blind courage and not knowing, what I don't know. But I said yes, and I hope you guys got a lot out of it. And if you didn't, or if you learned anything, that is great. I'm just happy to be here and be of service and to lead all of you. I got a lot out of it. You guys are great. I feel really open and nice in this room, and you guys have accepted, this sort of first go at it, and I appreciate that. So, anything else, Travis?
After the dedication of merit, we do have announcements.
I don't have that.
But you don't have to read it though, so.
Oh, that was great.